I wore this purple tie today to speak with somebody who walks in her power, expertly wielding words like a lyrical bois, bossing head and taking names. Atillah Springer is the director of the Idakeda Group, and she is a producer of Kambule, the ritual reenactment of the 1881 Kambule riots. She joins us to let us know how the Idakeda Group is keeping the spirit of the season alive with a series of online workshops focusing on the theory and practice of Carnival's traditional art forms. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to have the time to chuckle at the irony of current day masking, but welcome, Atillah. How you do?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. It's been an interesting few months, but definitely, I think the time is right for us to really reconsider how we see Carnival and what Carnival means to us and why we need to so vigorously defend it, particularly through things like observing Kambule.
And with that in mind, please give us the idea, or what is the Kambule Campus?
So Kambule Campus comes out of the sort of format that we have for Kambule every year. So every year before Carnival, we have a series of rehearsal/workshops, and we bring together, could be 50, could be 80, could be 100 young people, some of our seasoned principal actors, and usually a group of people who've never been on stage before, people who might be studying theater. We also have people who just come up off the streets and they say they hear that we're doing this production and they really want to be part of it, or they bring their children because their children don't have a sense of their cultural identity, specifically to do with the African cultural identity. And so, Kambule then becomes this place where we rehearse for this production that we're doing on Carnival Friday morning, but we also engage with young people to teach them the significance of why we feel it's important to mark this moment, and to really embed in these young people that this is a moment for us to remember, this is a moment for us to celebrate, and this is also a moment for us to reflect on. It's really interesting when we start the process, we ask young people questions like, what is the date of emancipation? And many of them do not know the date of emancipation. What is the date of independence? Maybe like about 75% of them can rattle it off in one. But there's so many things about our culture and our cultural history that are not known. We also try and connect to other things that were happening in the society at the same time. So, it's also really important for us to point out that Captain Arthur Baker, who was responsible for the confrontation against the ex-enslaved Jamets in 1881, also had a hand to play in the 1884 Jose riots, which saw the loss of life of many people who were involved in that confrontation in a similar fashion.
And we continue to have his ears ringing with regard in terms of like Captain Baker. But this just makes me kind of appreciate the idea of schooling while steeping ourselves in our history and the traditions. So they can be, and I think they should be, part and parcel of the same thing, because you can learn history while learning math. You can use these concepts to teach other concepts. People talk about a hidden curriculum, and I think that is part of what you all are doing.
Yeah, I mean, many years ago when I was living in the UK, I saw a document which had been developed by the UK Arts Council, I believe, and it was a whole curriculum that had been developed to teach geography, history, mathematics through the Carnival arts. And it is shocking that no such curriculum exists in this country, which is the home of the Carnival, which is, we like to boast that this is where, we are the greatest show on earth, etc. But, how much of that show do we understand is not just about the show, it is about the ritual, it is about the preparation, it is about practice, it is about meditation, it is about, it is about an actual, series of ways of being in the world, series of philosophies, series of physical and mental practice that we need to explore, and we also need to expose our young people to. And if you use Carnival as a basis, you can teach maths, you can teach geography, you can teach history, you can teach physics, chemistry. There's so many things that you could teach just using the Carnival arts and the Carnival traditions.
No, I hope you're putting some of this and you're writing some of this and putting it forward to the Ministry of Education, because we need more people to play that drum, sing that song, so people get a message, so we can go forward as a people towards self-determination. But in terms of saying that we're building upon moments, history is built on moments, and our history contains moments of repression, lockdown. What does the Kambule campus do in terms of continuing that process of overcoming adversity and overcoming prevailing conditions?
I think that one of the things that we're saying is that Kambule is not just a play, it's a movement. And I want to stress the word movement. We very often couch our creative forms and our cultural forms in terms of resistance, right? So we're constantly resisting a force. But really, we keep creating because we have to. And we keep creating because forward movement is what is inevitable for humanity. And so, we are trying to reshape our conversation around what Kambule means. It is a movement of people. The Maureen Warner Lewis is very clear in her scholarship about what the term Kambule means. And, we are very clear also that Kambule is not just Canboulay, which is a French Creole word that means burning up the canes. We tend to lean towards Maureen Warner Lewis's research, which shows that this word comes out of Congo culture, which means procession. So that whole idea of a procession which happens, that moves the people forward. And processions will happen for a number of reasons within a community. So you have a procession for ancestral reverence, you'll have a procession for community, you'll have a procession for protection, you'll have a procession for Christmas, you'll have a procession again for Carnival, you'll have a procession for so many things. And what we want to remind people is that procession is not just a physical activity that takes place, but procession is something that you go through in your mind. What is your, and go back into what Lloyd Best talks about, how do we feel about process in this society? We are not really into the process. We would just want to reach here, be there, be stars, but the process is what is crucial to us understanding ourselves and understanding why we're doing something in the first place, which is why the Kambule campus then becomes so crucial, because we are saying, this is why we are doing this. This is why this exists. This is why Adam Lorraine does this particular thing. And this is why a stick fighter wears a mirror on his chest. There's so much symbology, there's so much science, there's so much spirituality embedded in our masking traditional forms. And, we sometimes just do these things because we come and see it there. We don't know the connection that it has to anything which is scientific, which is mathematical, which is about geography, which is about spirituality. We're just doing it without really investigating why we're doing it. And so Kambule Campus is about investigating why we do the thing that we do.
And with that, we take a short break. When we return, we continue speaking with Atillah Springer. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are speaking with Atillah Springer, director for the Idakeda Group, also producer for the Kambule Productions. And Atillah, you just spoke about Lloyd Best and speaking to process. What does this moment do in terms of archiving the works of the Idakeda Group, as well as just knowledge of history, culture, and things that we should at this point in time? So what's the functionality of the Kambule campus as we take ourselves towards self-determination?
Well, I mean, it certainly is about us trying to build a digital archive. Very interestingly, we had our first session on Saturday, and we had people from all over the world joining us, from the UK, from West Africa, from the US. And one of the things that was expressed, one of the people who was in Chicago asked us, okay, so where can I find online resources on Kalinda, particularly on songs, etc.? I mean, yes, there are links through the Bois Academy, but in terms of wider range of archival material on Trinidad and Tobago cultural forms, that does not actually exist in a form that is easily accessible either to teachers or to people who are just interested in understanding our cultural forms in a more in-depth way, particularly now in these times when people can't go necessarily to Moruga and sit with an elder like Congo Barra and get him to explain to them what Moruga Pretty Stick is. It's incumbent on all of us who have access to the technology and access to communications devices. Even if you are just the grandchild of a stick fighter, it's important for you to take out your phone and record an interview with that person, because they say in West Africa, when an old person dies, a library burns down. And we are surrounded by burning libraries right now. We have not plunged really into our oral history in a serious way. There are a few people doing it, and like hats off to Christopher Laird from the Banyan Archive. Ray Funk is another person who's doing a lot of archiving of our calypso. Zeno Constance. You have a few people sprung along who we just lost. There are a few people who are holding on to our archival material, but when these people pass on, what will become of this information? Which is why right now, what we are trying to do as part of the Kambule Campus is make sure that we record our sessions and make them available for people online, so that there is some kind of there's some kind of paper trail or digital trail or some footprint that is out there, and that people can find this information. They can find clear information. They can find concise information that connects them to their history and culture.
And speaking of information, please give us a rundown of the workshops, as well as who will be facilitating which one. You said there was one already, and what are the actual dates and facilitators?
Okay, so the first workshop that happened was on November 14th, and that was a drumming workshop focusing on Kalinda rhythm by Coyote Charles and Irene Day Charles, who are young drummers who have been drumming as part of the Kambule cast and in Gayas across the country. So they've been doing that work. So they did their first workshop. On Tuesday, we have another workshop which looks at theater of resistance, and that is led by Brendan Lakai and Keon Francis, and they are also cast members of Kambule. Keon Francis plays the role of the stick fighter, and Brendan has played the role both of the governor and of one of the Pierre Rogonards, who tells the story of the Kambule, who's like the sort of narrator of the story. And that role has also been played by Mohammed Muakil and Christopher Best. So on Saturday, the 21st of November, we have a really special session, which is African Spirituality in the Carnival, which is going to be led by Atillah Springer, who is the playwright of the play Kambule and also an elder of the Orisha community. She also ran the National Heritage Library and was very instrumental in the documentation of some of our traditional masking forms and reconnecting them to their spiritual base, which exists in the Orisha yards and Urada yards all over Belmont and East Port of Spain and beyond. And then on the 28th of November, we have another session which will be led by Bois Academy. our dear friend and ally and partner in crime and good things, Rondell Benjamin, and he will be taking us through some of the practice and theory of the stick fight. And then we'll take a break for December, and then we'll start back in January with our sessions, looking at dance, looking at the masking forms, etc., etc. So the schedule for January will be out in December, but for now we have 3 more sessions, one on Tuesday, one on Saturday, the 21st of November. And these sessions start at 5 p.m. They go from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So look out for them. They take place on the Africa Legacy and Tours of Trinidad and Tobago Facebook page. And you can also join these sessions live on Zoom so that you can interact directly with the facilitators.
And thank you for that comprehensive rundown. No, thank you, please, and thank you is very good for character building. But if people wanted to contribute towards the initiative or energy, how does that take place?
Right. So thank you so much for reminding me that, financial support is always crucial. And what we are working towards is doing an online production of Kambule next year for Carnival 2021. Now, of course, Carnival is not going to physically take place, and there's a lot of talk about doing a virtual Carnival, etc. But we feel that the ritual of Carnival needs to be observed. And in truth and in fact, you don't need 5,000 people or 1,000 people or 50,000 people or 1.3 million people to observe your ritual. And so we are planning to do an online production of the Kambule. But in order to do that, we need resources. So we've set up a Fund Me TNT campaign. So just look on Fund Me TNT under creative category, Kambule movement, and you can contribute there. We'll take anything that you have to offer because as the Jamaicans say, one cocoa, full basket. Dire, we will reach where we have to go.
How easy has it been linking up with the people? What are the logistics of keeping the cast in contact?
So for this year, we've been keeping in touch via WhatsApp. We've been keeping in touch via Zoom. Every now and again, we'll reach out to people and just have a session where we talk about things, we share information, just to keep the ideas alive. And so Kambule Campus actually comes out of that desire for us to keep in touch with our people and remind them that, they are connected to something that is much wider than just the cast of a production. They are part of a movement, and, we really feel like it's our family. We keep in touch, we communicate with each other when we have things going on with our family. We communicate with each other when we have successes, So for us, keeping our cast together is also part of building that process, building that commitment to the work, to the ritual, and to the carnival.
All right, so we want to thank you very much, Atillah Springer, for sharing these moments with us, letting us know about the Kambule, what is happening, what we can still look forward to, and we've been posting the contact information, so that is also there. So we want to thank you very much once more for the work that you continue to do, you and members of the Idakeda Group. And on behalf of our entire news team, I'm DK Roster. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.